Hi, I'm Kamakshaya. In this video cast, I'm going to talk about a special feature in SADSA, that is Python console. So SADSA is actually a dual mode application which has hybrid interface or hybrid interaction framework built with the hybrid interaction framework where both the GUI and GUI based users can make use of their um, activities through this application. So where is this feature? So how to invoke this feature? Go to the file menu and you have got something called Python console, and this will launch a Python console where so the people who are interested in query based, they would like to write some Python statements and execute them so that they'll be a kind of satisfaction. So I'm also a programmer. Sometimes I would like to write the code instead of using the applications. That's a different thing. So now what this console offers to you, initially when you invoke this console, there will be some welcome message along with what are the different objects available for this instance. Now app is actually an app instance which has access to all those methods which were built inside this application. And then there is an object called df, which is an alias for dataset. What is this dataset? This is currently the dataset which we imported into. By the way, you have to import the dataset to the preview panel. Otherwise, will not be able to do anything in this. So I quickly will try to import as usual my default dataset for record. Now this imported dataset will be available as a df object in a console. So because console already, I don't know if it is available to me or not. Yeah, it is. So it is already. Shortly after I imported the data, it is available for analysis. That's very good. So I thought I have to reopen but it's not like that. Okay, now what is the rest? And there are a few, libraries that were imported and also created the aliases. PD stands for the pandas library. It is actually alias associated with the pandas. And NP is alias associated with the NumPy. So the app, imports all these, required packages and creates a few objects in a way making the way convenient for the users. And now coming to the app methods, because this is an application, right? So, as I said, when we import the dataset, the app creates a few objects. Two of the important objects are app and then df. So there are methods. They are called as app methods, app level methods, and there is data. Now the users have the freedom to do whatever. Anything and everything, as long as the app supports all those activities. Now, say for example, we have a file menu. So if the user would like to do the file level tasks, then there are very quick methods associated with this app instance, that is app.openFile, that opens the file. Save data, clear data, open CSV, save data file, something like that. And these are the methods associated with the edit menu and the transactions. So each menu has got quite a few methods, and this is a very quick and minimal documentation. Say for example, the same documentation is also available from the GUI. So where do you find it? If you go back to the app window, you've got something called documentation. See here, you got editing guide, how do you edit the data once it is imported to the application, something like that. And file formats, what file formats are being supported in this. Then analytics methods, like what techniques will fall under descriptive statistics, and what type of t-statistics user can perform, and then what exactly calculus test being defined in this app. Now the console itself, how do you open the console and what are the different app methods attached to that console. Here this is an exhaustive list of app methods. Okay, say for example, I want to do some, descriptive analysis. So where do you find it? You find it under data analysis menu, right? Where is data analysis menu? And I have to see here. This is show frequencies and summaries. So this is a descriptive statistics here. So this method, show frequencies and summaries. Well, I want to do some correlation analysis. So what is the name of the method? So user may not be knowing about what is the method which is internally defined. Now here this documentation will provide a very quick look into. So here this is perform correlation analysis. So we had to attach app.perform correlation analysis. I want to do some regression analysis. Then how can I do that in the console? App.perform regression analysis, something like that. Now I said this is hybrid interface. It has hybrid interface, but majority of the technique work through GUI, because that's the primary motto and the intention for creating this application. This is mostly meant for the people who don't like to perform the activities through GUI, and they would like to do everything through drop-down menus and through click-based, mouse click user-driven activity. Okay, now let's go back to the Python console and then look at this. Say for example, I already said that you can clear your console and you can click this button help, and you will get very minimal documentation. For help, you don't get all the documentation. If you would like to know how can I do some cluster analysis, then you have to come here and look at the help documentation. Then go to the app methods. So here you will find this cluster analysis. So there are two types of cluster analysis. K means cluster analysis, hierarchical cluster analysis. So pick up this method and then go back to the console and then perform that activity. Now, as a matter of quick introduction, let me show you what is this DF. DF is just a type of DF. This should be pandas data frame, something like that. DF, what are the columns? I would like to. You just have to press enter. That's all. And there's a list of the columns, and then let me know DF describe. I think I need to put the parenthesis. This is going that way. Okay, DF describe. Open parenthesis, close parenthesis. This is the descriptive analysis. Now I'd like to do some, frequencies and summaries. So in which way, if I would like to do that, the way is I need to use this, app instance. When I click help, I'll get back to my. So I'm just going to copy this, then paste it here. Now what it does, this is since an app instance, the activity is driven by the app application. So which means whatever the GUI part attached to this method show frequencies and summaries will be triggered or invoked, and from there, so how is that going to happen? So when I press enter here, that part of GUI, the GUI part which is attached to this method will be open for user activity. I can select one of the, from here the GUI thing happens. Okay, generate salary, then okay, I want the frequencies. Now the outputs will be displayed. Okay, so I want to do some correlation analysis. Say for example, I have a method called perform correlation analysis. I'm copying it for time, reducing my time. I don't like to consume little more time for my videocast. You have to minimize the time. I'm just copying and pasting it here. You just have to go to the documentation which is available from my GitHub repo, or you can go to the documentation part of the now when you press enter here, that part of GUI, okay, the GUI part of attached to this method will be invoked. And now I can select all. No, I don't want to say clear all, because there may be a few variables which may not be comparable for correlation analysis. I just want to calculate the correlation between particular variables selectively between S1, A1 and P1, something like that. And now when I press on run analysis, now it will give me this. These are the correlation coefficients, and these are the p-values, there's a significance, and there's a plot, something like that. So so that makes sense, that this application SADSA is actually a hybrid interactive. Um, it has hybrid interface, um, which is inspired from the hybrid interactive framework backed by the theory, and it has both activities like the GUI as well as GUI for both kind of users. Okay, so this is what I would like to talk for this video cast. Thanks for watching my video. Stay tuned for the new content. Have a good day.